Here is another example of translating from Arabic into English, which is, this is the third text, which is, the title of it is العرب والترجمة, which is the text, the source text is in Arabic. لم يكتف العرب بالنقل والتقليد بل تعدوهما إلى التكييف والتجديد، فهم لم يقتنعوا باستيعاب تراث فارس الفني وتراث اليونان العلمي على ما كان عليه، بل حوروا التراثين بموجب حاجاتهم الخاصة وطرق تفكيرهم. وبعد أن طبعوا ما ترجموه بطابع العقلية العربية في ظلال قرون عديدة، انتهى أخيرا مع ما ابتكروه إلى أوروبا عن طريق سوريا وإسبانيا وصقلية، فصار أساس العرفان الذي دان له الفكر الأوروبي في القرون الوسطى على أن نقل الأفكار والعلوم ليس في تاريخ الثقافة بأحط مقاما من الابتكار. This is of course the Arabic part of it, and then we go to the English part to see how it is being displayed. I'm trying to sort of give as much of the English and the Arabic to see it in the same shot. So the English, which is the TT now, the Arabs were not satisfied with translation and imitation, but exceeded them to adaptation and innovation. They were not satisfied only with the assimilation of the artistic heritage of Persia and the scientific lore of Greece, but they also have adopted both according to their own needs and ways of thought. After modifying their translations with the Arab mind in the course of several centuries, they passed them on together with whatever they have innovated to Europe through Syria, Spain, and Sicily. Thus it became the basis of knowledge which dominated medieval European thought. However, transmission of thought and science is no less in value than origination and innovation in the course of history of cultures. If we look at this, of course, if we look at the Arabic and the English first, to see, we can see, of course, the word al-naql. If we go back to the word al-naql at the very top of this, it says here, لم يكتف العرب بالنقل والتقليد, and it was translated at the bottom. Al-naql is translation. Of course, in the olden times, they call ترجمة هي al-naql. So it is correct to say al-naql wal-taqlid. طبعا التقليد here is not tradition and it's not convention. التقليد here, it means that you are المحاكاة. إذن بالنقل والتقليد, it means المحاكاة. So we have to know really, when we are actually translating, we need to know that the word تقليد in Arabic here is not tradition. أو تقاليد, يعني you might actually think of that. So here it's the decision making process of which word I should use. Of course, النقل لم يكتفي العرب بالنقل perhaps might be translated by transport or transportation and tradition, which will be totally wrong. Of course, they are talking about العرب والترجمة, and you can tell from the English, which is the target text, that the title of the piece is not actually there in the English. The English does not have the title. As you can see, it starts straight away with the word the Arabs were not satisfied. لم يكتفي العرب بالنقل والتقليد, which is translation and imitation. إذن النقل here means الترجمة. يعني we have to be very careful in our word choice in the target language. But we do need to understand that in the source language, the word naql does not mean transport or transportation, but it meaning translation. And the taqlid, it means imitation, which is excellent by this translator, who has actually got this absolutely correct, which is, of course, it's commendable what they have done. We should praise them for this. So we're not satisfied, but exceeded them to adaptation and innovation, which is التكييف والتجديد. That is fine. Now, of course, you can stop the sentence in English. You don't need to put commas. If you look at the Arabic, the comma, the full stop is بعد كلمة وطرق تفكيرهم. But in the English, you don't have to be carrying on all the way up to the word طرق تفكيرهم, which is the third or fourth line. It will be too long in English, so you have to break it down into sentences in the English. That's why it ends first sentence, and then you can go to the second sentence, which ends right at the end. So you can break up that sentence, which is a very long sentence in Arabic, which starts with لم يكتف العرب and ends with طرق تفكيرهم. Now, there is another element here which we have to be very aware of. فهم لم يقتنعوا باستيعاب تراث فارس الفني. Of course, Faris here, it means بلاد فارس, Persia يعني. وليس فارس بمعنى chivalry or the knight of the knight with a K. معناتها فارس الفرسان يعني. هم فارس معناها بلاد فارس. واليونان, of course, اليونان is Greece. Sometimes they say والإغريق. يعني كلمة أخرى لكلمة إغريق، لأن كلمة إغريق هي ترجمة أو هي بمعنى آخر هي transliteration إن صح التعبير، لكن Arabized فصارت الإغريق، يعني بلاد فارس والإغريق أو بلاد فارس واليونان. فإذا تراث فني وتراث علمي. And that's quite interesting that it got the word lore for scientific and heritage, artistic heritage for the Persia. So it's a quite good balance here. It's well done by the translator here. They've done a good job. ما كان عليه يعني in the past. يعني in the past how they were in the past. فإذا فهم لم يقتنعوا باستيعاب تراث فارس الفني وتراث اليونان العلمي على ما كان عليه but يعني لم يقتنعوا but حوروا التراثين بموجب حاجاتهم الخاصة. إذا أن special needs حاجاتهم الخاصة their own special needs, then it becomes like special needs for the disabled. And here, of course, it will be very confusing in English if you say for special needs, for their special needs, or according to their special needs. But you can't say according to their special needs, you need to say according to their own needs, which is excellent translator has done in here. And then ways of thought, or ways of thought means وطرق تفكيرهم. So that's a good job that's been done by the translator so far. Then when we come to the next part, وبعد أن طبعوه وبعد أن طبعوا ما ترجموه بطابع العقلية so here العربية وبعد أن طبعوا ما ترجموه بطابع العربية العقلية العربية. طبعا طبعوا ما ترجموه بطابع طبعوا بطابع. This is like almost طبعوا طابعا أو وضعوا طابعا وطبعوه بطابع، بمعنى أنه صار مثل ممنوع منها يعني it's absolute object here بس بطابع مجرورة. طبعوا بطابع يعني ما they did not give it a stamp, they did not stamp it, but you don't need to say that. They did not actually, after modifying, that's what it says here in English, after modifying their translations with the Arabic mind. I wouldn't say it with the Arabic mind, modifying it with the Arabic mind. I wouldn't say that. What I would say modifying their translations according to the Arabic way of thinking, or to the Arabic thinking, or to the Arabic mentality. Okay, modifying according to the Arabic mentality, or in the way people see it in the Arab world. Okay, في ظلال قرون عديدة, in the course of, يعني هو في ظلال قرون, you can say through several centuries, or during the several centuries, or throughout in the course of, it's correct as well, which is excellent. طبعا عديدة, several is good. Several usually طبعا تعني 7 or 8 in numbers. Several. not like many. Many is more. They passed on together with whatever they have innovated to Europe. هذه كتير حلوة يعني من المترجم. يعني we have to thank the translator for this. They passed them meaning what? Them meaning the translations. They passed these translations that have got the mentality of the Arab. So they gave it that kind of, they have colored it, they have culturalized it in Arabic. They have put it in an Arabic context, within and contextualize their translation so that it is close to the Arabic mentality of the way of thinking. They pass them on together with whatever they have innovated to Europe. إذن في ظلال قرون عديدة انتهى أخيرا مع ما ابتكروه إلى أوروبا. Okay, they pass them on together with whatever they to Europe. That's good, excellent here. You can do that excellently. And it was through Syria, Spain and Sicily, also very good. Well done for the translator here. But then we have فصار أساس العرفان الذي دان له الفكر الأوروبي. كلمة عرفان here means المعرفة. فصار أساس المعرفة يعني الذي الأساس العرفان الذي دان له الفكر الأوروبي. In other words, the European way of thinking or European thought in the Middle Ages, they owe most of the basis of knowledge to the Arabs at the end of the day. For what? For actually transferring. Here the word نقل, نجي على كلمة نقل. لاحظوا على أن نقل الأفكار. هنا نقل الأفكار والعلوم ليس في تاريخ الثقافة بأحط مقاما من الابتكار. Of course, نقل الأفكار, it means here not the transmission of thought. Yes, you can say that as well. Transmission of thought, but نتذكر بالبداية كان بيقول النقل هو الترجمة. لا ننسى أنه قال بالبداية النقل هو الترجمة. لكن في النهاية نقل الأفكار والعلوم meaning the transmission here. So here it's a change of the word نقل in Arabic with its meaning, which is slightly different from what it was before. على نقل الأفكار والعلوم ليس في تاريخ الثقافة بأحط مقاما من الابتكار. Transmission of thought and science is no less in value than origination and innovation in the course of the history of cultures. But here, of course, the issue is that the word origination and innovation, I would say originality, because it's the originality which is الابتكار. Originality being الأصالة يعني ليس بأقل من الأصالة والابتكار، لكن هو ما قال الأصالة، قال just innovation. Innovation يعني الابتكار فقط. He did not say originality. But in any case, I would say على نقل الأفكار, to transmission of thought and sciences, okay, is no less in value. لاحظوا كيف انقلب الكاتب أو المترجم قلبها بحيث أنه تأتي بشكل يعني ليس فقط في كذا بأحط مقاما، فهو قلبها إلى حد ما على أساس أن ثقافة تاريخ الثقافة وضعه في الأخير في نهاية الجملة, which is fine in English to put it at the end. It's not an error. But look at the word cultures, history of cultures. Of course, the history of cultures في تاريخ الثقافات الأوروبية يعني why there is an E at the end, cultures. يعني this is a spelling mistake which can be avoided easily. So however, transmission of thought and sciences is no less in value than originality and innovation in the history of cultures. And you can't say in the course of, you don't need to say in the course of, you can say in the history of cultures will be enough. I will comment on it in Vision in a minute. I will go back and give a summary of it as a whole.